Hi, this is Lee. We're going to move forward with our math version of the war game. I thought the easiest thing to start with would be the compare function, since we already have that built into the code, comparing the numbers and choosing a winner. And try to think through how to add it in. Now, the best way to go is to know your goal and plan towards that. So we're sort of just squeezing stuff in here and there, which is a little sloppy, but how we're working. So if I choose compare, and I'm just going to click on, we'll just work on integers. No, we can add in integers next time. So we start, and then the player, I might change these from player 1 to player 2, from player to computer, which makes more sense. And then we choose winner, and then player gets more cards. It'd be nice to add some sort of CSS to a more visual cue that you won some sort of something. Maybe a announcement can show up on here or something saying you won the cards or something, or you got it right. That'd be nice, but you can see that the player has gotten the cards. So there's more. So it's just going to work the same way. I still have it with just a few cards, just for testing purposes, which maybe we don't need anymore. So, oops, we need math options. Math options, compare. No. All right, let's get one wrong. You can see the computer gets the cards. So more. Oh, it's going to end again. All right, so I should change that and give us more cards. Draw more again, which is what we were going for. Okay, so if we get it right, then player gets the cards. If we get it wrong, computer gets the cards. And see, each time it adds up to 20. So one thing we'll want to do is so that's good. So after we click once, it's not letting us click again. So that's good. Okay, so you can see a few things there that we want to work on in the code. But for now, one thing I noticed was the player 2. Since I changed those names, we should change it here. Computer wins, player wins. We could add something where they type in their name. We could put their name there. Something you could figure out how to add later. Okay, so let's get to the code. So what do we need to do? These little notes about call greater. It's like I put these notes in as I'm starting something, so I can look over in the log. Let's go back here. I can look in the log here. Okay, so, if things aren't going the way you expect them to, putting these things in your functions lets you follow the trail of what's going on. Okay, so compare equals 1. We're running compare. We're calling assign. It's running assign. The card's less than 11. We call greater. Compare equals 1. You can follow the trail of thought of your function that way. So, but then once it's going, you can take out those things. Okay, so that's all the same. The war, all this at the top is the same. I added a few variables. That's all I did up at the top here. I added compare chosen winner. So compare is a variable I just made up to just say, are we running the compare math game or not? So it starts at 0. We're not using compare. When they click on compare, it's going to make compare equal 1, and that is our little code to the computer saying we're running compare. Now, a lot of people would use true and false, like compare equals false. And when compare is true, then you run the compare code. I always just use 1 and 0. To me, it's easier in my brain. then true and false. Those are called Boolean, the true and false. But it's the same kind of thing, a binary decision there, 0, 1. So chosen is going to be when the player clicks on winner, it's going to say which one they chose for their answer. And then winner is the actual winner. Is it player 1 or player 2? So chosen is just going to be 1 or 2. So I just start them at 0. So there's no default answer in there that's going to mess anything up. So let's get past all the stuff that we've already coded. Come down after war here. So I have a couple functions here. Compare math. First I called it function compare, and that messed with the code's brain because I had a variable named compare. I need to use different names. So I call this compare math. So function compare math, I tell it, let me know that you're running compare. As I was figuring it out. And all this is doing, if 1's bigger than 2, then the winner is number of player 1, the first card. Otherwise, the winner is the second card. This is running after war, so them being equal isn't an issue. And then we have compare check. So this is just the code taken from the normal compare, the greater function, this thing. It's just the code from here, basically just slightly changed. So if chosen equals winner, if they said that the card 1 on the left side was the winner and the computer knows that the card 1 was the winner, then 1 equals 1, and it will give the first player, which is now player, gives them all the cards, right? And then writes that number on their thing. Otherwise, the computer gets the cards. So that's the change with this. You get the cards if you answered correctly, not because you're the one with that pile. There's no player 1 or player 2 anymore. So greater, that's okay, so here's where we call that. So it's just running its normal code, the cards get up there, and then the computer looks for the winner. So the first thing is it checks for war, and the next thing it's going to check for is if we are doing comparing. If we are comparing, compare equals 1, and we run compare math, return, get out of the function, we're done. Okay, so it doesn't need to run the rest of this. And then it goes up here, and it runs compare math, where it sets what the winner is. Yeah. So in compare, when you click on compare, it sets the variable compare to 1. That's just our little marker to show we're using the compare math game. And if I just called 1 and 2 winner, where it says winner on the code here, I called this 1 and this 2, just my ID I put in the HTML. So when they click on 1, chosen equals 1, or if they click on 2, chosen equals 2, and both times they run compare check. So we need them to click on something before we run compare check. You can't just run that. They need something to happen first. We need to know what they pick. So the HTML, here's the ID 1 for where it says winner. So those are all the parts, and you have a working compare game. And I'll see you next lesson.